Tim Burton's The Nightmare Before Christmas is one of my all-time favorite movies from my childhood. And now, thanks to the LEGO Ideas program, I get to experience this world and its quirky inhabitants in an all-new way. But was the jump from stop animation to LEGO bricks a success? Well, let's find out. I'm Joe, and this is my review of LEGO Ideas set number 21351, Disney Tim Burton's The Nightmare Before Christmas. This set is based on the Halloween town as seen in the 1993 movie directed by Henry Selick, and is made up of 3 key locations from said film, namely the Town Hall, Jack Skellington's house, and finally the Spiral Hill. And these 3 sections are then connected with clips, which is a bit flimsy. The set started as a LEGO Ideas submission by LEGO fan designer Simon Scott, and is the 59th LEGO Ideas set. Before we dive into the set though, I want to take a look at the box first. With this set being targeted at adult builders, we of course get the black box design, but this one suits the source material very well actually. I like the purple glow behind the product shot, but with a yellow gradient behind the moon, it's a bit unclear whether the moon is part of the set or not. The logo at the top left does pop nicely against the solid black background though, and I like the choice of lavender greebling at the bottom. The back of the box has some shots of the interiors and how to access them, as well as the set's dimensions next to a line drawing. We also have another large product shot showcasing one of the more curious features of the set. And this box opens up a bit differently because it has a lid on top, which I prefer way more, and I hope LEGO does this with more sets down the line. Inside we get 16 paper bags, a large thick cardboard piece for the moon, a small envelope with the cloth pieces, a modest sticker sheet with 14 stickers, and yes, some of them could have been printed instead, and finally 3 instruction booklets, one for each section of the set. I love seeing this because it encourages you to build this set together with friends and family if you want to. The first booklet features a nice profile of the fan designer, an introduction to the world of The Nightmare Before Christmas, as well as a quote from the LEGO design team. I also like how the Tim Burton-esque design elements were incorporated into the first few pages of the booklet. It took me about 2.5 to 3 hours to build this set on my own, and it was quite a fun build thanks to all of the crooked angles of the structures. The amount of smaller details included into the build kept me engaged all the way through, and once you're done building, you should end up with these extra pieces. Now, onto the set. The completed build is made up of 2,193 pieces and measures over 32 centimeters high, 51 centimeters wide, and 27 centimeters deep, and is an 18+ set. In my reveal video I had some mixed feelings regarding this set, and I still stand by most of my criticisms, though building it and seeing it in person does make it slightly better. I still think the fan-submitted design's layout is way better, and a far superior adaptation of the film's art style, but I guess LEGO had to cut the size down a bit for the budget, and with that came some visual sacrifices. So I'm going to run through each section of the set individually in the building order, so let's start off by looking at the Town Hall. The building size has been scaled down considerably, but all of the necessary detail has been captured very well, and the angles of the building has been achieved by simple techniques that are very effective. The angled pillars to the front helps a lot to mimic the source material, but they're not connected to the building, so just make sure to angle them correctly. A very welcome addition is the exclusive fabric bunting that brings in some much needed color to the building, as well as some of that unique Burton-esque design. Above that we have some extra sticker detail like the Christmas countdown sign, as well as the spiderweb clock. The area to the front features a very good brick-built frightful fountain. While I really like how much the toxic green stud stands out, I must say I'm not a fan of loose studs in a set, and I do wish we had some green liquid running out of the gargoyle's mouth. The gargoyle uses some chew pieces to excellent effect, and I love the irregular angles used around the fountain's basin. We also get a variety of stones, leaves, dead plants, pumpkins and skulls littered around the base that completes the Halloween look, but it's this dead black tree that really sells it. I really like how it's angled to the side, and the twisted branches look very good to me. So of course the smaller building means that the interior is quite cramped, but I do appreciate the detail that went into it. There's an interesting door design to the front, but the interior is actually accessed from the back, and I like how they've added these curtains to the sides. The roof sits loosely so it can easily be removed to reveal an attic where some Christmas decorations have been stored, but more on that later. The main room is quite cramped, but it has the most important feature, which is the lectern where Jack introduces the idea of Christmas to the inhabitants of Halloween Town. And on the walls we get 2 of these spiral candles and shields with some scary faced stickers. There's also an Easter egg underneath the building which might hint to the fate of Dr. Finkelstein, because the skeleton has a bowl and spoon next to a green jar of what I think is Sally's deadly nightshade that she used to poison him in the film. Up next we have Jack Skellington's house, which is the biggest disappointment to me. The design is smaller than the fan-submitted version, and it has almost completely done away with the rickety look of it. When you're not comparing it to the original design, it's not that bad looking, and there is much to like about this section. It just doesn't look like Jack's house to me. Having said that though, I do think it looks way better from the side. So I've done some research, and it seems that this house was designed to resemble Jack's house from the Disney Dreamlight Valley video game. So this has to be a call made on Disney's side. Before we head up the stairs towards the house, we are greeted by a big iron gate with some skinny black cat sculptures. We get some more Halloween decor around the area, and I love the way these walls have been designed. And those rickety stairs also look very good to me. The door looks okay with that creepy eye sticker in the middle, but the angled walls to the sides just doesn't work for me. It's just way too plain and boring. But it does get somewhat better when moving upwards though. I love the choice of yellow windows, and those wonky grey tiles on the facade work very well. But the best part for me about this house has to be the roof. The design looks excellent, especially that zigzag ridge at the top, which interlocks very nicely. It's all very detailed and adds some nice depth to the roof, and I kind of wish this continued into the house design more. I also appreciate how nicely this roof sits on the building with minimal gaps. The wonky chimney was also done the right way, and this just screams The Nightmare Before Christmas. And again, the back gives us access to the interior. On the ground floor, we have a perfect recreation of Jack Skellington's miserable looking Christmas tree, but it takes up all the space on this floor. The second floor is packed with detail though, and it looks appropriately messy. You'll find lots of callbacks to the film in here, with the standouts being the iconic drawing of Jack wearing his Santa Claus outfit. And on the other side, we get the blackboard where Jack tries to figure out the meaning of Christmas. And right at the top in the attic, we find some more Christmas decorations. The back is also where we can get a better look at that very nice tree with yellow leaves. This new piece at the base of the tree is really working hard in this set. And finally, we have the spiral hill. This is by far my favorite section and hands down the most iconic location from the film. In my announcement video, I wasn't too sold on the moon piece at the back, but I have to admit that it does complete the build very well. I still would have liked to have seen a bigger build just for this section, but in the end it is okay. I have to say though that the spiral hill itself is one design that I actually prefer over the fan design, and it has just enough space to place Jack and Sally to complete the memorable scene. The graveyard to the front is also very nice, but I do wish that prints were used for each tombstone's detail. But I do like how each tombstone features a unique design though. The medium blue used on the floor looks very nice, and it works well with those lavender flowers with black leaves meant to represent Deadly Nightshade. And the tomb-like doghouse for Zero in the middle also looks perfect. And there's a few spots inside the hill where we can find some more Halloween-themed objects. So I just want to show you that you can take all of those Christmas decorations and turn Halloween Town into a slapdash Christmas town. It is a nice thought, but not really the way that I would display this set. Now moving on to the figures, we get 6 in total, along with a brick-built mayor figure and a great mold for Zero. And our first figure is Jack Skellington. Jack makes his second appearance in Lego form, but this time he has grown a bit thanks to those long avatar legs and arms. The idea of making him taller makes sense, but I actually feel like the legs and arms are too thick to accurately represent him. The leg printing that doesn't continue all the way to the bottom also looks a bit odd to me, and the lack of arm printing is a shame. I do like his cloth coattails though, and his bow also looks great. Unfortunately, his head doesn't quite work for me. The eye holes are a bit too small, where I feel like the first version of the figure nailed the proportions. And Jack is not complete without his faithful companion Zero, the ghost dog. He looks very good, thanks to an exceptional mold that combines both hard and soft plastic. I love his pumpkin nose and painted eye holes, and in fact, I think he's almost a bit too detailed for Lego, but I love his addition as he really completes the set. Next up we have Sally, and she looks really great until you compare her to the previous version. She's seriously lacking some dual molded mismatched legs because those shoes and skin printing just doesn't look good. Her torso and back printing is very nice though, and I appreciate the mismatched arms, even if it is lacking in some printed detail. The hairpiece we get is also fine, but again, the one we got for the previous figure worked way better. Though it is my understanding that the original mold doesn't exist anymore, so this substitution is fine by me. Her face print is also fine, though I'm not too sold on the blue around her eyes, and she does have an alternative face with a smile. Next up we have Lock, Shock and Barrel, the devious trio tasked by Jack to kidnap Santa Claus. Phew, I'm having a tough time with these figures so far. They all look a bit plain to me, though to be fair, the source material doesn't really give that much detail to work with. Lock is dressed in all red with white hands and features no printing whatsoever, not even a single crease. They could have at least given him dual molded legs to include his shoes, or a red tail actually. His hairpiece does a good job at representing the source material, and his face prints are nice, with one featuring a devious smile with raised eyebrow, and the other I think is the face he pulls when Jack scares them. Shock fares a bit better visually with dark legs, purple dress piece and unprinted purple torso, and the purple hat with hair combo works nicely for the character. Her face prints are also good, but the alternative does make her look a bit dopey. Barrel is the only one to feature printing, and even then it's quite basic. Again, some dual molded legs would have been nice because he is barefoot in the film. The green slick back hair definitely gives him some Jared Leto Joker vibes, but it does look good. He does have my favorite face print of the three with that wide toothy smile, but the other face again looks a bit silly to me. A glaring omission for these characters are their iconic masks, but to be fair, I'm not really sure how LEGO would have pulled it off without looking too scary. But to make up for this, we do get the bathtub that these characters ride in. The build does feel a bit blocky, and it is missing the crank at the back, but I do like the use of skeleton legs. All three figures can be placed inside the bathtub, which is nice, and while it's not the greatest design, I'm glad it's been included. Next we have Santa Claus, who is a bit leaner compared to his on-screen counterpart. He features a printed dress piece and I love his torso printing. It has bits of candy corn stuck to it, and it even has a big lollipop cord in his belt at the back. His hat and beard is perfect for a Santa, but I feel like his face is almost too detailed. While I like his rosy cheeks, I feel like there's a bit too many lines on his face. I do like his alternative face, but it is just weird to me how inconsistent the minifigure details are in this set. Along with the candy stuck to his suit, he also comes with a nice candy cane, which is nice. And finally, we have the mayor of Halloween Town. I think the decision to go brick build was the right way to go to capture the mayor's odd body shape, and the printing on his cone-shaped body is excellent. He also comes with a brick built bullhorn and the plans for next year's Halloween. His head features 2 exposed face prints, which is perfect if you know the film well, and the graphic designer has recreated them perfectly. And his hat is also good, even if it is a bit flimsy. All in all, this is a pretty good lineup of figures. They're all good, but they could have been better in my opinion. The one figure I wish we did get with this set is Oogie Boogie, but I guess he wasn't really in any of the scenes depicted here, and a custom big fig would have been too expensive. However, I'm not sure if we'll be getting any more sets for this theme, so it does bum me out a little bit. This was a tough review for me. Nothing about this set is bad, save for some cost cutting and unstable parts of the buildings. It actually looks very good. But with the film being one of my all-time favorites, it's hard to look past the visual inconsistencies. I'm also not sure why this was branded as an 18+ set, because the building experience was quite easy and approachable. I don't really like the layout of the completed build. It feels a bit rough and unfinished, even if all the necessary elements were included. I kind of wish they just stuck to a well-designed spiral hill set with upgraded minifigures on a stand or something. The set also feels a bit pricey to me when you look at the areas where it's clear the designers had to stick to a budget. Lack of printing on both the build and the figures is a big negative for me. Anyways, let me know what you think about this set. And please consider liking and subscribing to the channel if you like this review and what we do. And as always, thanks for watching.